Hey guys, welcome back. It's Veronica. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my bullet journal layout for October and November. I know I didn't get a video out for October, but I still did set up my whole plan with me video and I just never got time to edit it. Just because of that, I'm going to be kind of just doing an overview of what I did for October, and then I'm going to be setting up November pretty similar. So you can see how I set it up in the November setup. So we're going to start with my October cover page. So for this, I just did some echinacea flowers and some sunflowers. And then on the next page, I did my calendar as always, where I have all my dates and events and all of that. And then on the following page, I had my tracker. And then I also drew a sunflower, put a little quote in the middle to kind of fill up this page. I actually was going to do something else with it, but then it just kind of turned into that. And then on the following page, I started doing something new, which was just a expense tracker. So that's just where I would kind of track my, income, expenses, things like that. And then right next to that, on the other page, I have my mood tracker, which is just a mandala. Then finally, I had my weekly setup, which was just pretty simple. I think I even made this a little bit more simple than usual. I pretty much just had my days of the week on this page, and then I had a little spot for goals and for next week, but not much more other than that. I set up my November weekly the exact same way, so you're going to see that a little bit later on in the video. And then that was it for my month of October. So then on the next page, I'm going to do my cover page for November and also kind of a page for the last of October. So I'm just going to write Goodbye October on the first page. And I'm just doing some pumpkins and some, almost Halloween sort of stuff. And then for the following page, I just wrote Hello November. And I'm going to try and include a little bit more of the fall colors and leaves in the November setup. So I wrote Hello November, then I just started adding a lot of different leaf colors with my watercolor pen. I also kind of added some more to the October page, but not as many colorful ones, just some greens and yellows. Then I went back over my lettering a bit just to kind of thicken it up a little bit more. And then once my watercolor paint dried, I went over the leaves and just kind of added a little bit more detail into each one, which I really think makes them pop out so much more. Honestly, this whole setup is really, really simple. I have not really had time to do a bullet journal, and so I haven't. And so just getting back into it, I'm trying to simplify things, make them just easier, quicker and everything. So then that's it for my cover pages. So then moving on, I'm going to be doing my monthly setup. So I pretty much just take 2 pages, and it pretty much consists of just my calendar for the month. I pretty much just make a box, section it off 5 by 7, and then I'll add the days of the week at the top. And then that's pretty much it. I'll also add the numbers, of course, for the whole calendar. So then in the left corner, I just wrote November. I kind of was using the same lettering as the cover page. I also made a little banner where I wrote 2017, and then my leaves were about dry at this point, so I started filling in those as well. And then I also added goals up in the corner, because that's where I'm just going to put, some goals for the month. Then the other spot is for a to-do list, and this is more of things that actually need to get done. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice definitely, so if at the end of this video I don't sound very clear, I'm sorry for that. And then I went in and filled all the leaves, and that was pretty much it for my monthly page. So then moving on to the next page, I'm going to be doing my tracker, mostly, so my habit tracker. which again, if you guys have seen any of my old Plan With Me videos, you'll know I set this up pretty much the same every time. I just separate each square out for each day of the month. You know, make rows, and then each row is going to have a habit I want to continue doing. So you could add maybe like work out, hydrate, if you want to wake up at a certain time or go to bed at a certain time, or I always add read to the list because I try and read, you know, every day. And then at the bottom, this is kind of new. I'm not sure if I did this in a previous video, maybe I did, but I added 3 little sections to kind of track statistics for social media. So like my YouTube channel or Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, I can kind of keep track of it, which is cool to kind of look back on and see, you know, how much you've grown. So that's kind of cool to have that saved somewhere, I guess. So then to finish this whole thing up, I just added leaves to the top of the habit tracker page. So moving on, now I'm going to be doing my expense tracker. So I'm just gonna kind of reference back to the October one to see how that one was. And then I'm pretty much just going to add a watercolor streak at the top where I'll write expenses. And then I'll have sections. I think I did a section for date, item, and then if it was outgoing or incoming, and then the total balance. So then I actually made a little banner and wrote November up on top with expenses too. And then of course the leaves as well. Now moving on to the weekly setup. I started with my watercolors this time, like I should have throughout the whole thing so that they can dry. And then I am just going to be sectioning off little squares, 7 throughout the whole page, and then they're going to be for each day of the week. Now I made lines on the sides of the box, and then I kind of rounded the bottom of the box. Then I added a spot for goals and for next week. So now I'm going to be using some tape that I got from the washi tape shop, which is a really cool company. They have so many different washi tapes, and yeah, it's pretty affordable as well. As always, I have everything linked below for the washi tape, the paints, all of that. So if you're interested in using any of that in your journal, you can find it all down below the video. But this first one I'm going to be using is a little week tape, I guess, and basically it has each day of the week on the roll. So you can pretty much just cut them out and paste them in. You don't even have to write down the days of the week. So I'm going to do that at the top of each box. But then, yeah, I'll use each of these boxes then to just fill with tasks or reminders or things for that day. And then that's pretty much it for the box. I think I'll maybe write November 13th, 14th, you know, all the way through. Then I wrote November, and then I also wrote the dates that this week goes through up in the corner. And then I kind of made that box look a little bit more like the washi tape design as well, just to kind of go with the theme. And then I'm adding some more washi tape. Then I pretty much just went over the rest of the leaves with my pen. And then I also added some more leaves. I think this got a little cluttered, and so I probably would have just done the leaves maybe around the edge or the border of the setup. That might have looked a lot neater. This turned out a little messier than I liked. Then I just added goals and next week. To cover up some of the cluttered leaves, then I also added some more of that tape to the edge. And that's pretty much it for my monthly setup. You know, have my weekly setup as usual. This one's a little bit simpler than my old ones. If you go back to when I first started bullet journaling, like January, February, you'll see that I had a lot more on my page. So if you're interested in something like that, you could check out my older videos. But as I said, I'm just trying to simplify everything a lot more. So then I have my expense page, my tracker page, and then I have my monthly page, which is just my big calendar for the month, and then it's hello November, goodbye October. You can see, looking back, that everything's pretty similar to what we did in the November thing. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video, which will hopefully be very soon. So, bye!